Angela Vale, you're the CEO of Footprint, which is New Zealand's largest provider of online wills. Tell us, what is the difference between an online will and how does that differ from a traditional will?
Well, the biggest difference is convenience. Being able to sit in your own home, for example, wherever you like, and get your will done in 16 minutes on average our customers take. So the platforms that drive the traditional will method and the online will method are all the same. They're pretty much the same templates being used. So you've got that same security, but of course you get the difference of doing it at home when you want to.
Absolutely fabulous difference there. So tell us, walk us through the process. How do you create a will online via the Footprint platform?
It's super easy. It's really a question answer template. Once you've picked the product you want, you just go through some simple questions. They're all things you know, like your name, what you want to do, guardians, who you want to leave things to, and you're just answering a template. And it's, like I said, it takes around 16 minutes on average. You submit that through to us. Our professionals take a quick look at it, make sure it's doing what you want it to do, and send it back. It's a pretty quick process.
Now, a lot of people think wills are really only for those approaching retirement. Tell us, is that so? And if not, why is it so important for people to put their will in place so much earlier than that?
Well, look, this is my soapbox I've got to try not to get on top of. It really isn't a question of retirement, and we've got to move the conversation to today. And that's because the things you're doing today impact your will. How you set up your bank accounts, how you set up your insurance policies, and more. These are decisions you're making right now, today, or even when you're starting out, and it all impacts your estate. And so therefore, the will conversation really needs to move to today. So you're incorporating your short and long-term plans together.
And how about those left behind? Why is it so important for those to get a will in place rather than not having a will at all?
Well, that's the biggest thing about putting a will in place. It's less about you and more about the people you leave behind. Look, in New Zealand, we have certain laws that dictate who gets how much if you die without an estate, and if you die without a will. And we get people all the time that say, well, it doesn't matter, everything will just go to my children, or everything will just go to my spouse, but it doesn't work that way. And certain circumstances means that it could go to your parents or your parents-in-laws. Not only that, estate administration in New Zealand is like one of the best kept secrets, really. It costs around $10,000 on average if you have a will in place. Now, every will requires estate administration of some form, but if you don't have a will in place, it will cost $15,000 or more on average. But even more than that, what you'll find is that the whole process to settle your estate takes much longer, at least 50% longer, and that could be 18 months or more before any beneficiaries who may really need what's been left behind will get access to it. So it's really, really important to put a will in place. The value of it far exceeds what you pay for it, which isn't a lot anyway.
Now tell us about video messages. What's the story with recording a video message for your loved ones? How can this be valuable, and also where can it be stored?
Sure. Well, one of the things that we've listened to our customers about what they want to do, and because we're a digital platform, there was quite a high, request to be able to have some form of digital messaging. And it's a beautiful thing to be able to say your last goodbyes, your thank yous, or whatever cheeky message you might want to leave as having your last voice in this world, and being able to store that in your vault. So with our business, with Footprint, you get a digital vault to store your will, but also a personal message of this kind. So you can pop that in there along with your will and other important documents that you're going to need throughout your lifetime, but are also going to need to be all together at the end of your life to make things easier for estate administration.
And they can all be stored in that one location, that one digital vault.
Absolutely.
Now, what about annual updates? A lot of people don't just think a will is something you do just once and then it's sort of done and dusted. You've been talking about the possibility of updating a will during on the Footprint platform. How often can you do that, and why is that important?
With Footprint, you can do it every year as part of the subscription package, that you've engaged with. And it's really important. We put a lot of messaging and content on our site, videos, learning labs, to really reinforce the importance and teach the importance of keeping your will updated. There's all sorts of life events that can impact it. Getting married, getting divorced, moving in with somebody, having children. There's just so many different things that could impact your will. It is one of those things that you just need to stay on top of and check in with as your life changes.
But what about when things change with, weddings, babies, buying houses, and also even pets? We get a few questions about pets. Can these types of details be included in those annual updates, and can they be included in a will?
Absolutely, all of them, including pets. We've recently put pets into our wills from a formal basis because we just had so many requests for it. And it makes sense. We're all pet lovers at Footprint. I've got my 2 dogs in the background there trying to keep quiet. Look, pets and children and guardians, all these sorts, your funeral wishes, all these things come into your wills. And of course, these things don't happen at the end of your life. They're all happening throughout your life. So that's why you need to keep everything updated and in sync.
Such an important message. Angela Vale, CEO of Footprint, thank you so much for talking with us.
Lovely, thank you.